In today's Clash Royale video, I'm going to show you the best deck for the new Super Rich Crown Challenge in Clash Royale. Before we jump to deck, I want to explain you this challenge. The challenge gets split up in 4 different stages. In the first stage, you just need to get 9 crowns to get to the next stage, and you can win this gold crate here. At the second stage, you need to get 12 wins to get another gold crate and go on to stage number 3. In stage number 3, you need to get 15 crowns. I can tell you already, my deck is perfectly for crown farming, and you can win this legendary Joker, which is really great. It helps you progress with your legendary cards. And the final stage, most like, is the hardest stage, but you can get this exclusive emote, which is only available in this type of challenge. You need to get 18 wins, but you can still lose games because it's going to be in casual play. So a really long challenge, it takes a lot of time, but I will show you now the best deck, how to complete this challenge. And this is in my opinion the best deck for the Super Rich Challenge. This deck is absolutely insane, especially because it's great for crown farming. You got a golem deck, which is insanely good for getting free crowns, winning like this challenge really early, so you don't need to waste a ton of time. Also, what is really great about this deck is the combination between the Super Rich and the Skeleton King. Let's talk a bit about the Super Rich. 6 elixir, it kind of mixed from like between the 3 witches, the normal witch, the night witch, and also the Mother Witch. So she's gonna spawn pigs when she kills troops. She's gonna spawn bats plus skeletons. She doesn't die to lightning, but she dies to lightning nados, so this is really helping. I also got the Baby Dragon plus Bomber in the deck because they both do really well against her. The splash damage really helps to kill like the hoggies from her, also skeletons and bats. So same for the Bomber here. We got the Tombstone, which is not really that great against the Super Witch in general. So if you guys hate like playing against Super Witch, you're feeling like you're struggling with this variation, make sure to sub in a cage. But I still like the Tombstone because I think for me it's one of the top 3 builds in Clash Royale. The combination of the Skeleton King and Super Witch is absolutely insane. The Super Witch spawns skeletons, spawns spells, and when they die, they kind of help the Skeleton King to get all the souls, and then you get the full ability, the full power ability, and then sometimes you don't even need to go on the Skeleton King plus Super Witch for just 10 elixir, just kills towers, kills free codes. One of the hardest push to defend in this challenge. If you guys enjoyed this content, make sure to use creator code Mort in the shop and also subscribe to the channel to never miss any of the best decks for the future challenges. So the first game I want to show you guys is this against Code Morton. Really great code, by the way, because like I'm not able to play it on a live server yet. I played on a dev account because there was no YouTuber, because nobody likes me. I had to play against myself, but I still think the gameplay generally is really good, and kind of explaining my thought process how to play this deck. I think is the most important key, because with this deck I can tell you guys, you don't need to really care about what the other guys playing. I actually kind of try to counter this deck, but it feels impossible with different kind of combinations. So I'm just gonna go for my Super Witch here in the back against the Sparky, and you guys will see how good the Super Witch really is. It's absolutely crazy. Damage is insane. The Goblin Giant will die, and also the piggies, the hoggies, which will spawn. Look at this instantly. The Goblin Giant even like almost doesn't cross. It's not even able to cross my side of the map. So I'm just gonna go for this here. This is absolutely really good offense, and this is already it. This is it. You just want to defend with this deck. Even if it's the golem deck, normally people would go golem first play. You don't really want to do it. You want to defend. You have the best defense in Clash Royale. You have the Tombstone, you have the Super Witch, you have the Baby Dragon, and it's all about just defending. And then if you have 8 elixir, go with golem in front. But if you just have 4 elixir, make sure to just drop your Skeleton King in front, and the Skeleton King is just absolutely crazy, just kills everything. And then you got the ability out to get you spawn 1 bats. You could spawn like 1k skeletons, and there's nothing you can do. Also, like the pig is for sure help, but this is absolutely insane. I also thought about just putting golem out and put something else instead of it. Maybe you can guys try it out, let me know how it works in the comment section. But this deck is absolutely crazy. In some situations, you don't even need the golem to win games and get fast free crown wins. So in this game, I actually try to kind of counter my deck. The thing is, like, Super Witch is just so good. So I thought, basically, before we starting this game, what is really good against Golem in general? If you think about top ladder, if you think about the best base in the world, Golem Lightning gets countered by Zeppi's Graveyard defensive thing. But the problem is kind of this matchup, or like its deck, that the Super Witch is absolutely insane against Graveyard because of the Mother Witch spawn. So I don't even know what counter stack. Honestly, I don't even know what counter stack. I'm honest here, this deck is absolutely crazy because you cannot kill it with spells, right? Like, who the heck plays Graveyard Rocket? So this is kind of the problem with this deck. Why is it so broken? I can tell you guys, play this deck, you will win. You will win. There's no way for your opponent if you play it on a decent level, as long as you do what I'm doing, kind of playing it defensive and winning the bridge battles, you're fine. The only problem is kind of if you lose the bridge battles, right? But that's why we have the Bomber in the deck, that's why we have the Baby Dragon in the deck, that's why we have the Skeleton King. We also still have the Lightning in case something survives from an opponent, we can just lighting it off. But this is the most important thing. Also, we got a bit lucky here that we like that our troops stay alive, but it's absolutely crazy. And I think in this situation I'm just going to play my Tombstone, I guess. yeah, I'm just going for a tombstone. So the opponent is going basically in here. So maybe, like, an example, he thought there's not any Super Witch in sight. But as you guys can see, this kind of example how good Super Witch really is against Graveyard. And we get a ton of Hoggies out. And this is what the deck does. It's just absolutely crazy. The Skelly King comes down, the Skelly King puts in work, but the Skelly King basically just dies because the bats are always there. And there's no response to that. It's once again a match where you just defend and counterpush. I mean, maybe some players wouldn't have played the Graveyard in this situation, but I still think there's like, how is it supposed to break through, right? When he cannot play the Graveyard. I still have the Bomb, I still have the Baby Tank. So if he face any type of Graveyard player, I thought first, okay, Graveyard is a really, really good deck choice because it most likely beats most of the beatdown decks. I personally think beatdown is the most strongest deck, the most strongest archetype in this challenge because, yeah, because it's really, really good with the Super Witch together, kind of similar to Night Witch and so on. So I thought like, okay, Graveyard might beat it because it's always like Light and Ladder, but the Super Witch is just so good, kills all the Graveyard Skeletons, so this is absolutely insane. So I don't really know what really counters this deck. So guys, now I kind of want to show you how to play a mirror matchup, because I also feel like this is kind of important to know how to play a mirror matchup, because I feel like most people will use this deck in this challenge. So I'm just gonna play really passive. I kind of want to know what he's playing. After I see this card, it still most likely could be Graveyard one, but we were talking about how Graveyard is not really good in this challenge. So I'm just gonna go for my Golem now in the back, and the opponent is doing the same. So Golem versus Golem. For sure, the Super Witch is really important in this matchup. So I think I'm just gonna drop this. Instead of going for a Tombstone, going for the Super Witch, I think might be the better play. But let's find out. Let's kind of find out how this works out. Just go for a Golem low. For a Tombstone low. So this is fine for me. We're getting Golem on tower. And the opponent defends that not too bad. Now I'm just going for a Skelly King in front of that. Now it's the question like how I'm supposed to break through. So I might just go for a Tornado here. Hopefully kill the Bomber and also kill the other stuff. And exactly, this is how it went. This is how I went. This is like the one single choice we made different than the opponent. And we got so much value out of that. As you guys can see, like the Super Witch doesn't really do too much damage on the tower. But this is kind of what you're going to do. You want to do the perfect defense. And it's always, in like a mirror matchup of Golem, the general tip I can give you guys, the most important thing is your Tornadoes. Your Tornadoes need to be on point. The Tornadoes are the most important thing in this type of mirror matchups. You always need to keep that in mind. So going in for my Super Witch now behind the Golem here, kind of building up a huge push. And I think we're in a good spot. If you're like up with Golem, it's always really, really good. I want to get my Baby Tank down as soon as I can. And Super Witch against Super Witch is just like, I can't really explain what's happening, right? This is like just absolutely crazy. So I might just drop another Tornado here. Yeah, just gonna use the ability here. And let's see, I don't really know honestly what's happening here. I don't really know if we're looking good or not. But I think we're not looking too bad. And as you guys are seeing, this is kind of how you want to play it. So also you need to consider you're not playing most like the best Golem players in the world. I don't really think they're participating in there in this challenge, or like, I mean, the chance to face them is not really high. So the good tip, if you face a mirror match, if you have a mirror matchup in mind, or like facing a mirror matchup, you want to play defensive. You want to wait for the opponent to kind of overcommit or give you the right Tornado choice. You always want to Tornado the Bomber into your Skelly King, because you need to kind of keep in mind the Super Witch and also the Bomber are like the best cards against the Skeleton King ability. Also for sure the Baby Tank really helpful because of the splash, but it's like the top two main things you need to consider. And if you get the Baby Tank plus the Bomber plus the Skelly King and Tornado, and you get the Bomber like already killing, you get the splash on top of the Super Witch also, and then you're able to go for the ability the opponent cannot defend this push. So in this matchup, I decided to pick another deck which I just thought of, which could be really, really good. So, I mean, I put some cards which are actually counting my deck, makes sense, I guess. Which are really, really good also, which deck is which you could copy. So if you don't like Golem, copy the opponent's deck. It's going to be a Royal Giant one. So these are like my two main decks I would suggest. So why is this deck so good? I mean, we got the Electro Spirit in the opponent's deck, which is really, really helpful. So the only question is like, how is this gonna be played out? So Lightning is coming down. Lightning, gets a ton of value here. If you use the ability here and log this, should be fine. But another Skelly King needs to come down. So the bats are just so good, and the Skelly King immediately dies. So Baby Tank gets a chipper, and we are fine. I decided to pick a really defensive Royal Giant deck. It's actually the Royal Giant deck which a ton of people are using at top of ladder, but instead of the Hunter which you normally use, I decided to put in the Super Witch, because Super Witch is kind of like a Hunter just with skeletons and bats. So if you guys remember the time when Witch was broken and she did so much single target damage, this is kind of what reminds me this Witch of, even just way better. So both are going for the Witches in the back. I mean, I think in this situation, maybe it might be smart to just golem at the bridge. Might be not smart, might be smart. Let's find out here. So, okay, I'm just gonna go tornado this all together. Okay. Log this. It's just crazy how many troops are like there in general. So, going in for this. Voyager is coming down. I go for Bomber here. I'm going for the Tombstone here. Bomber Splash is important, as I said. This is really good. And also what we want to see. So another Golem this time comes in the back. So... oh, actually the Fisherman still pulls the Bomber. Which is quite funny. Also the Mother Witch on the other side is... I mean the Baby Wing on the other side is putting in some work. So... it's kind of interesting how this is gonna work out for both of us. I'm just going for a Bomber here, I think. Going in for this. Skelly King at the... here. Going in for a Tornado on top of that. For sure, always have Tornado ready. Now it's going to be an interesting defense. I mean, there's like nothing... What? We have the white heat, like... there's everything you need against Golem, but still it's impossible to defend this. You kind of need to take some damage from the Royal Giant, right? But this pushes. They're impossible to defend. Even if you have lightning, you kind of need lightning arrows against it, because this is also a smart pick. If you guys hate Golem, lightning arrows could be a possibility, but it's not like 99% of the players playing Golem, right? Lightning arrows and other matchups are really bad. Also, it's really expensive in general, but it kills at least this Baby Drain plus backup stuff. So if you guys want to... if you guys don't want to miss any videos in the future, just let it on the channel. Make sure to subscribe and also let me know how this challenge worked out for you guys. I wish you a ton of good luck and I hope you guys win this special emote.